Good day, everyone. I am Clarice Winson from Notre Dame of Marble University, taking a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Social Studies. For today's video, we will be talking about Asian globalization as a growth powerhouse and the largest regional economy that plays a vital or significant role that offers prospect for business around the world that has the potential to fuel and shape the next phase of globalization. But enough with these sugar-coated words. My role for today is to present to you facts on where is Asia right now in relation to globalization. And I will also provide the areas for consideration that decision makers need to prepare to win the Asian century, and share to you how I personally foresee Asia in the near future. To begin, Asia is not just a home to over half of the world's population, but it is also known with its demographic trends and because of its burgeoning economy that gives way for Asian century. So what is Asian century? So when we say Asian century, this refers to the dominant role that Asia is expected to play in the 21st century, which is the next phase of globalization. But how can this be possible? Various economic development has been visible to Asia. It is increasingly becoming the world center. The global good trade rose from 25% to 33%. Capital flows from 13% to 23%. International students acquiring tertiary education in Asia has accounted 48%. Global cross-border flows of data from 10% to 16%. There are also increases on global media and hospitality industries region share of patents, and energy demand that contributes to the global real GDP in purchasing power parity to rose from 32% to 42%. Its share of global consumption from 23 to 28%, and its share of world middle classes from 23% to 40%. And these three measures of scale is expected to increase by the 2040. Another contributor that gives support to Asia in reaching this economic development is the different characteristics of its economy that complements one another, giving way to the integration of Asia in the development of powerful networks. These four Asias are Advanced Asia, comprising countries that are significant providers of capital and technology for the rest of the region. Next is China, which is distinct for it can stand on its own category that acts as an anchor economy and the connectivity and innovation platform for neighboring countries, followed by the Emerging Asia. Emerging Asias are countries with high share of regional flows and considered as culturally diverse countries. Lastly is the Frontier Asia and India, comprised of countries with economics that historically have low levels of regional integration that made it more diverse, global-based in terms of trading partners and investors. Asia for Asian supply chain is also remarkable because industrialization network is developing from Advanced Asia down to Frontier Asia and India. For example, China is phasing out labor-intensively manufacturing, and Emerging Asia and Frontier Asia and India is benefiting growth in economy, followed by the potential growth in the industrial base of the new cities across Asia are developing as dynamic industrialization hub. With globalization, innovation networks in Asia become more localized that is powered with local talents and founded by regional capital, leading to form multi-local networks. When we say multi-local networks, the solution offered in each local market is tailored to local consumers, and the regulation is usually managed by local entrepreneurs. And these multi-local innovations can be found in four Asias, and these have made possible by intra-regional flows of capital. Innovation hubs are also emerging in all four Asias. Globalization also made Asia's culture and mobility to become a growing hub for people flows and rising cultural force because of the booming consumption of services, especially tourism. But not only that, because way back to the past when the region was largely a recipient of Western culture, becoming fan of Hollywood movies and British pop music that was made possible because of globalization. So today, Asia's culture flows are in both directions. Asia has sufficient scale cultural content and diversity to create its own blockbuster, such as K-pop, K-drama, C-drama, and Bollywood. Asia is gaining fame and opportunity from globalization. Asia is now almost at peak to success in globalization, considering all the development that is happening to Asia, as it thrived in the Asian century. As Asia grows larger in scale, develops stronger inter-regional connections, and form new networks to thrive in Asian century, problems may grow as well as conflicts, so there are four areas that decision makers should put into consideration. First is to be relevant to Asian firms not only in Asia but around the world. They need to consider how to make Asia as a major leader in flows including trade, air travel, innovation capital, and shipping. The reason why companies need to have a strong presence in these flows. In order for them to be relevant to Asia, they need to be part of Asian flows and networks that are already large in scale with a major intra-regional element. Then, they need to offer Asia resources and flows in which it remains dependent for the region continues to depend on non-Asian economies, and they need to create opportunities to expand their underdeveloped flows. Second consideration is rethinking the Asian operating model that lacks to other companies who fail to gain a meaningful foothold in the region. Decision makers should unlock opportunities arising from the complementary characteristics of the four Asias, for it opens partnership and collaboration to develop new supply chain. They need to think that they should also give emphasis on cities and its city clusters, as a growing number of cities are central to Asia's rising networks, and those cities who may not today be well known but have the potential to be developed in the near future. Third is to make sure that growth can be sustained and make sure that the region can continue to offer opportunities for businesses within the region and beyond. They should protect and prevent risks that may come along the way. One example is the environmental issue, so the decision makers should look for answers in resolving this issue. They also need to fill the skills gap. They need to boost their pools of available skills in order to benefit from the growing industrialization. This gap is commonly on emerging Asia and frontier Asia. Enhancement of institutional capability, and lastly, the decision maker should also forge strong inter-regional collaboration wherein they need to think more strategically about how to grow and prosper together. In line with this, there are things need to be considered. First is to develop effective dispute resolution system, wherein geopolitical tension should be addressed in order not to compromise the mutual social and economic benefits of the rising integration between countries of this diverse region. They need to forge strong relationship beyond trade, for it is vital for business that is looking for growth and new market opportunities to understand the region and its dynamic. Asia today is creating name globally in terms of globalization, and I could foresee that this region will continue to grow beyond our expectation. This region will continue to soar in terms of development that will create name to the world. With its richness on rising cities, tourism, technological advancement, innovation, producers of services, young labor force, new markets, and the largest hub for goods and people, I could say that no one could stop Asia in conquering the economic world. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.